Hello, my name is Medina. I'm the creator of KO Method, which is a holistic approach to fitness and self-defense training. I'm also the owner of Seabreeze Fitness, which is located in Costa Mesa, California, which is where we're at right now recording this. Today I'm going to go ahead and cover knuckle conditioning for beginners. Alright, the way I came up with this method is, methods that I used when I was growing up is how I condition my knuckles. I'm sorry, I can't really show anything right now that I can punch that's within camera range. That would be hard, but eventually I'll add a little bit, and you can see that I can punch steel really hard and it won't hurt. But the point is the way I got started is when I was going after so many street fights, and yes, I got many street fights when I was a kid, so that's how I came up with these weird little kid-like, playful-like methods. Anyways, when I was walking to school, I would see wooden fences. So when I was, I thought about how I could condition my knuckles. So I thought about just punching the fences. I would just lightly just walk and tap on the the wooden fences, stuff like that. Eventually I found out that I was able to hit harder and harder without getting hurt, and then I moved over to concrete. I would get on the ground and then just lightly tap the ground so that my skin could get used to it, relieving lessening the shock, and then opening up my confidence, and little by little I was able to punch harder and harder from bone remodeling. Alright, made my bones harder, I wasn't feeling much pain anymore, and then I moved over to steel. Of course, this took several years of a method, of a process I mean. I found a way to kind of shorten that process down now that I have science behind it, medical research that I've done, stuff like that. Anyhow, right now I have this little piece right here of wood. It's only a quarter-inch thick. Alright, it's about 2 to 3 inches, and it's maybe a good 3 to 4 feet long. That's all it is. So it almost basically mimics, one of those wooden fence pieces, whatever you want to call it. Anyhow, today I got Warrior Steven here. Is going to show me, is going to help me demonstrate to you guys how we do this. So basically what I'm going to do is just stand here holding this. Alright, so what I'm going to do after a while, I'm going to be challenging him so that he can time his punches properly and position them properly. Because remember, you want to hit flush like that. So this is the target. You want to hit flush. You don't want to hit like that. You don't want to hit like that. Naturally, we hit. I don't know if you can see right there the angle. We hit like this. We got I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of an angle. Instead of being flat like that, it'll be at an angle. So we got to force it to be like so. Alright, that way we're always hitting flush. That way the load is being distributed by all 4 knuckles and not just 2, which is the boxer fracture. Because remember, we naturally tend to punch with the pinky in more towards the front. So you gotta learn to force the front, your pointer knuckle forward so that you hit flush all the time, mainly with the biggest, hardest knuckle, which is the middle one. Anyhow, like I said, I'm going to be tilting it. I'm going to be going down to mimic a body shot. I'm going to be going up. I'm also going to have him stay squared off with me, and I'm going to be tilting to the left, tilting to the right, even though he's staying that way, so he can know how to position his punches properly in the heat of battle, no matter what's going on. Obviously, this is slow, but in the heat of battle, he'll record this, and he'll be able to punch properly all the time. Anyhow, what he's going to do is going to stand in a horse stance. What that means is really wide, really low, back straight. Right, just like that. And basically he's going to be doing a karate motion, just tap, 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 just moving. There's no need to pivot, alright, like an actual punch. He's just going to be tapping, alright. There's no need to use leverage with your shoulders because we're just conditioning knuckles, just lightly tapping so that his skin can get irritated and then build a pain threshold and break capillaries there so that they can get used to the motion, get familiar with all this stuff, lessening the shock and lessening the risk of injury. And also, once you hit hard enough, you start to bone remodel. Do tiny fractures on your bones, then they re-heal really quick. And then little by little, they get harder and harder. That also, in case you didn't know, helps you to prevent osteoporosis in the long run, right? So there's many good benefits about it. But you can't be a freaking hero and start off all hard. You're going to freaking injure yourself, hurt ligaments, tendons, anything, and you're not going to be able to punch properly ever. So anyhow, you got to be patient with this. So here we go. Remember, he's just going to be punching lightly, just trying to hit flush every single time. Go ahead. Remember, he still has to snap back. And notice I'm going to start pivoting my freaking the stick over here. And he just keeps always hitting flush. So when I do this number, he has to do uppercuts in order to be safe with every single hit. So now he's going to move again. Now he's moving. He's just adapting under every single strike. Now I tilt it on him, and he stays the same. Look at his stance. He just positions himself properly so that he can hit properly. Not only that, but I can also drop my right shoulder, lift up my left one. Now he's doing the up-down motion with the second axis that I taught you guys. Now we do the opposite. Now use the third axis that I taught you guys. Alright, now you go back to normal. Once again, tilt. And he just positions to where he feels he needs to move. If it's an over tilt, obviously it doesn't feel properly, so he's going to uppercut it. Alright, notice how his punches look. It doesn't matter. It doesn't look professional or anything like that. All he's doing is the overall motion and just hitting, striking, conditioning those knuckles. That's all it is. Alright, so if you get a thicker wood, it's less pliable and it's going to hurt more. So you got to start with the thin wood. Alright, once he breaks it, then we go to the next one. I'm just kidding. It doesn't need to break it. Anyhow, you're just going to keep going for a few more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You will do that. He can do that as many times as he feels the need to do it. Alright, now to follow up with that, we put away this. And you get something stiffer, but still a little bit soft to the touch. This is a 12-pound medicine ball. Alright, it is pliable, it gives a little bit weight, but once you hit a certain density into it, it obviously turns solid. So even though he just got done hitting wood and he's hitting something softer, it can still hurt because his knuckles are so tender right now. Alright, especially since he's not used to this. So same thing, everything's the same. Now he can hit a little bit harder, but I want him to add that snap to lessen the impact. But he's still throwing a lot of force, a lot of shock into the target. Go ahead and go. Let's pause. There you go. Just nice and smooth. Playful like motion. Uppercuts. Back to normal. Alright, now I'm going to do a little bit of a tricky motion. He's going to stay squared away, but watch me. I'm going to kind of move a little bit so that he has to challenge his fighting positioning, his striking positioning. Uppercut. There we go. Back to his normal. Alright, so now he's just trying to hit flush every single time. Not with too much of one, pinky side or a pointer side. Alright, we're almost done. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so remember, he was just positioning his knuckles so they always hit properly. Eventually, once he gets more and more used to it, he can do this on his own, at home, on his own time, which would be the timing of the striking. You don't always want to be fisted when you hit. You're going to get tired from all that tension you're building up. It's not going to come out as quick as possible. You're not going to be able to fully extend out because of all the tension. So when he's at home, when he has free time, he's going to work on the timing. Having knuckles nice and loose, and right before you impact, that's when you want to squeeze to make that fist so that you hit it with the solid freaking rock to the target. But it takes a lot of practice to get that timing down. Alright? That'll be the last part about the knuckle conditioning, is also working the timing into it. So that you're not always fisting, because that actually creates more pain, believe it or not. Alright, even though you feel it will be easier, it actually isn't. Alright, anyhow, once again, my name is Medina.